Y yo quiero tomar esta oportunidad para darte las gracias. Darle las gracias a todos ustedes. Algunos de ustedes me acompañaron desde los after hours de mala muerte en el barrio, a los clubes en Broadway y las fiestas en sus pueblos. Y ustedes me acompañaron. Y yo los acompañé a ustedes mientras hacían la limpieza, cuando ellos guiaban a su carro al trabajo. Yo estaba con ustedes. Y ustedes me hicieron una estrella a mí. Y por eso estoy agradecido y orgulloso. Y me siento muy dichoso. Gracias.
The sound of a trombone, bold, brassy, defiant, for over 6 decades, that sound defined a generation, a movement, a culture. It was a voice of the streets of the South Bronx, the soul of Puerto Rico, and a heartbeat of salsa music. That sound belonged to Willie Colón, and on Saturday, February 21st, 2026, that sound fell silent. Willie Colón, the legendary trombonist who didn't just play salsa music, but helped create it, shape it, and take it to heights no one imagined possible, has died at the age of 75. Today, we remember the man, the music, and the legacy that will echo through generations. The news came Saturday morning through a statement from his family, words heavy with grief, but also filled with pride. It is with profound sadness that we announce the passing of our beloved husband, father, and renowned musician Willie Colón. They wrote, "He passed away peacefully this morning, surrounded by his loving family. While we grieve his absence, we also rejoice in the timeless gift of his music and the cherished memories he created that will live on forever." Willie had been hospitalized at Lawrence Hospital in Bronxville, New York, suffering from heart and respiratory diseases. Though his body had weakened, his spirit never did. Just 6 months earlier, in August 2025, he had performed a sold-out concert in San Juan with the Puerto Rico Philharmonic Orchestra. He was still sharing his gift, still connecting with his people, still doing what he loved most. His longtime manager, Pietro Carlos, captured the magnitude of this loss perfectly. Today, we've lost an architect of the New York sound, a trombonist who made metal his banner and wrote eternal chapters in our musical history. Willie didn't just change salsa. He expanded it, politicized it, clothed it in urban chronicles, and took it to stages where it hadn't been heard before. His trombone was the voice of the people, an echo of the Caribbean in New York, a bridge between cultures. William Anthony Colón Roman was born on April 28, 1950, in the South Bronx, a neighborhood that was equal parts vibrant and violent, creative and challenging. His parents were Puerto Rican, but it was his grandmother, Antonia, affectionately called Tawna, who raised him and planted the seeds of everything he would become. Antonia had migrated from Manatí, Puerto Rico, in 1928, carrying with her the music, the language, and the culture of the island. At a time when Puerto Rican identity was being lost on the streets of New York, when Spanish was a scourge and bilingualism wasn't even a concept, Antonia made sure Willie never forgot where he came from. When he was 11 years old, she gave him his first trumpet, but more importantly, she gave him a mission, a command that would define his entire life. Don't forget you are Puerto Rican. Willie never forgot. In fact, he made it his life's work to celebrate, honor, and amplify Puerto Rican culture through his music. In 2021, he released an album titled Hecho en Puerto Rico, Made in Puerto Rico, which features a song called Idilio, a heartfelt tribute to his grandmother Antonia. Even after more than 50 years in music, after all the fame and all the success, he never stopped thanking the woman who started it all. Willie switched from trumpet to trombone in his teens, inspired by the powerful brass lines of Caribbean and jazz musicians. At just 15 years old, he signed with Fania Records, the legendary label that would become synonymous with the birth of salsa music. 2 years later, in 1967, at the age of 16, Willie released his first album, El Malo, The Bad One. The title and the cover art, which depicted a tough, street-smart image, set the tone for everything Willie would do. He wasn't interested in being polite or pretty. He was interested in being real, in reflecting the world he came from. "I came from a really tough neighborhood," Willie said years later in an interview with Billboard. My father spent time in jail. Almost everybody went to jail. A lot of people were getting home from the Korean War and Vietnam. There was rampant drug use in the streets. So this was kind of a way of symbolically showing the world what was going on. I was able to be a badass gangster and not do it for real. Since my father was arrested, my friends were arrested, there was a lot of interaction between us and the police. And since that was part of what was going on, it made my music relevant. Malo sold over 300,000 copies. Willie Colón wasn't just a musician. He was a voice for the voiceless, a storyteller for the forgotten. Willie's partnership with vocalist Hector Lavoe became one of the most important duos in salsa history. Together, they created music that was raw, urban, and deeply connected to the streets. Songs like Calle Luna, Calle Sol, Iguanao Chichicol, and El Dia de Mi Suerte became anthems. Lavoe gave Willie daring lyrics and a reverent attitude, and Willie gave Lavoe a sound unlike anything anyone had heard before. In the mid-70s, Willie took a bold step. He introduced the world to a Panamanian singer-songwriter named Ruben Blades. Their 1977 album, Midiendo Mano, marked the beginning of a legendary collaboration. The cover showed Willie, dressed as a boxing trainer, holding Blades' hand high in victory. It was symbolic. Willie was passing the torch, introducing a new voice, expanding the boundaries of salsa. Then came Siembra in 1978. This album, created with Ruben Blades, became the best-selling salsa album of all time. Its opening song, Pablo Pueblo, and its most famous track, Pedro Navaja, told stories of everyday people of struggle, of survival. It was socially conscious salsa, music with a message that went far beyond the dance floor. Willie also collaborated with the legendary Celia Cruz on the album Celia and Willie, and performed with countless others as part of the Fania All-Stars, a supergroup that brought salsa to stages around the world. Over 6 decades, Willie Colón produced more than 40 albums. He sold over 30 million records worldwide. He earned 15 gold records and 5 platinum records. He received 11 Grammy nominations and won a Latin Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award in 2004. In 2015, Billboard included him in its list of the 30 most influential Latin acts of all time. He was inducted into the International Latin Music Hall of Fame in 2000 and the Latin Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2019. But numbers can't capture the true impact. His music combined jazz, rock, funk, and Afro-Caribbean rhythms. It was bold, experimental, and fearless. As the LA Philharmonic biography noted, Willie's music explored the competing associations that Puerto Ricans have with their home and with the United States. He uses songs to depict and investigate the problems of living in the U.S. as a Puerto Rican, and also to imply the cultural contributions that Puerto Ricans have to offer. Willie Colón wasn't just a musician. He was a tireless activist who used his platform to fight for justice. He served as a special assistant to New York City Mayor David Dinkins from 1989 to 1993. He worked as Mayor Michael Bloomberg's representative advisor and liaison to the Latin Media and Entertainment Commission for over a decade. He was a member of the Latino Commission on AIDS and the United Nations Immigrant Foundation, and served on the board of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute. His song, El Gran Varón, written by Omar Alfano, told the story of a young man rejected by his father because of his identity. It was groundbreaking, addressing prejudice, and offering a voice to marginalized listeners at a time when few were willing to. Willie survived a car accident in 2021 that significantly declined his health. But even in his final years, he kept creating, kept performing, kept giving. He is survived by his partner, Julia, and his 4 children, William, Alejandro Liberty, Adam Diego, and Patrick. The tributes have poured in from around the world. J Balvin, Raul Alejandro, Farruko, Mark Anthony, artists across generations and genres, all paused to honor the man who paved the way when there was no path. Willie, thank you, wrote Raul Alejandro. Thank you for paving the way when there was no path, for making the trombone a symbol, for giving salsa its streetwise edge and soul, and for making your music an identity for so many people. Mark Anthony posted a photo of himself with Willie on stage, writing simply, Maestro, thank you for your legacy. Your music lives on forever. Bruce McIntosh, VP of Latin Catalog at Craft Recordings, which now owns Fania Records, said it perfectly. Willie was much more than an iconic artist. He was a true visionary that forged a new genre of Latin music that we all love today called salsa. His legacy is etched into the very soul of Latin culture. He will forever be El Maestro. Today, The trombone is silent, but the music never will be. Willie Colón showed us that music is more than entertainment. It's identity, it's resistance, it's culture, it's power. He took the sound of Puerto Rico and the streets of New York and created something entirely new, something that belongs to all of us. His grandmother told him, "Don't forget you are Puerto Rican." He didn't just remember. He made sure the whole world remembered too. Rest in peace, Willie Colón. El Maestro, the voice of the people, the architect of salsa. Your legacy lives on forever.